In 2022, there are around 369,000 children in the foster care system who are in need of safe and loving environments, but some were not fortunate enough to receive this. With those kinds of numbers, it's likely that we all know someone who has been affected by the foster care system and therefore some of its faults. After a child has gone through a traumatic event that would place them in the system, they deserve to have an environment that will benefit them, but oftentimes there are faults in our foster care system. These can lead to children being placed in a home with too many children to be comfortable, being away from their home for too long or moved around too much, or in some cases, not being removed from their bad situations to begin with. These issues in the foster care system can be changed to improve the childhood of children that will impact society in the future. To begin, you need to know what the main issues are. Oftentimes, children are removed from a poor home situation and into the foster care system. In the system, these children will be placed into what is supposed to be a better environment, but this does not always happen. A major issue in the system is overcrowding, which can lead to children not feeling seen or heard. Overcrowding is one of the main issues the foster care system faces today. While the lack of supervision of a large sector of the population's young demographic was the principal impetus for this system, the number of children in dire need of foster care has increased to a level that renders it cumbersome. That's from the Patriot Press. This quote explains that children in need was the main cause for starting the foster care system. That as time has moved on, more and more children are becoming in need, and this is leading to more children than the system can handle. Another thing that can lead to a child feeling unseen or unheard can include being away from home for too long or moved around too much. Most often, out-of-home placements for children are meant to be temporary, with the children being returned to their home as soon as possible. But a lot of the time, placements end up being long-term, or children are moved around a lot during their time of foster care. From Casey.org, when children aren't connected with a permanent family, they are being failed by the Child Protection Agency. Multiple placements have also been found to lead to delayed permanency, academic difficulties, and challenges developing meaningful attachments. In this quote, it is explained that permanency helps children in developing properly in all aspects of life. To continue, another issue in the foster care system is children simply not being removed from their poor situation to begin with. Child welfare agencies are more concerned with adults' needs and sensibilities than children's safety. In Pennsylvania, a report from 2014 to 2016 found that of the 220 substantiated fatality and near fatality incidents, 64% of the children and or families were involved with the county children and youth agency prior to or at the time of the incident. To explain, this tells how often children end up in fatal situations and were already involved with the system and under investigation. Nearly 700,000 children are substantiated or confirmed as victims of maltreatment in the U.S. each year, and millions more are suspected victims or at risk. If more focus is put on actually keeping the children safe and not just appeasing the adults, many children would end up being safer and end up with better lives. By simply taking a step back and fully assessing the situation, it truly isn't that hard to solve problems, big or small, so let's discuss solutions. If you try hard enough, any problem can have a solution. All you have to do is try. Some solutions to the problems I discussed would include having more trained adults to house children, using strategies the child protection agencies have recommended when it comes to placement stability, and using resources created to help families in need. Bringing more trained adults into the system to host children would improve the system as a whole. We could train and pay skilled foster parents, expand mental health services for troubled children, and pay social workers enough to keep them around. This would be good because it brings professionals into the system and can improve the quality of living for the children. Permanent placement is good for children. Children need stability to thrive, especially when they have a trauma to heal from. Placement stability has a positive impact on all three goals of the Child Protection Agency: safety, permanency, and well-being. Child protection agencies have implemented a number of strategies to improve placement stability for children in foster care. Some of these strategies include placement matching and providing support for caregivers. A solution to the final problem I mentioned is using resources provided. Lewis created a solution to help families facing these difficult poverty-related choices. It's an app called Care Portal that connects struggling families at risk of separation due to neglect with supportive volunteers and communities that can offer help. This app was created to help families in need because of poor money-related choices. This is good because if a family is at risk of being separated because of money issues, this can help prevent that. If more apps like this were created, it would be easier for parents to find solutions for their issues and be able to create safe and loving environments for their children and prevent separation. To conclude, there are many ways that the United States foster care system could be improved, but the major points include being placed in an overcrowded home, being away from their home for too long or moved around too much, or simply not being removed from the bad situation to begin with. If these issues were fixed by adding more trained adults to house children, placing children in better environments to prevent moving, and taking advantage of resources such as Lewis's Act Care Portal, our foster care system and eventually society as a whole would benefit greatly. All of these issues can have solutions, it just depends on if we want to work hard enough to fix them.